Welcome back. President Trump getting ready to roll out a new executive order on immigration this upcoming week. It will replace his controversial travel ban, which a federal appeals court refused to reinstate. The president's original plan sparked international protests and more than a dozen legal challenges. Joining me right now is Senator James Lankford, a member of the Senate Intelligence and Homeland Security Committees. Good to see you, sir. Thanks so much for joining us.
Glad to be with you Sunday morning.
So certainly the president wants to address these concerns raised by the federal appeals court judges who blocked that travel ban. What do you say would be necessary to narrow that down? What are you expecting from this new immigration order next week?
So the judges that looked at a couple things. They looked at the way that it was rolled out and the lack of clarity on things like green card holders, legal permanent residents. Would they be allowed to be able to still be back in the United States and have access to legal travel? That needed to be corrected, quite frankly, in the first executive order. They say they're going to correct that in the second executive order. There were all these accusations that the judge left out there, said there's some suspicion that this may be religiously motivated. Now, nothing in the executive order would lend towards that. There was all these accusations. These are Muslim countries. Yes, there's 7 predominantly Muslim countries, but these are the same 7 countries that the Obama administration and the U.S. Congress had identified as state sponsors of terrorism or where there is no functioning government. So it's not a religious motivation. It is an action of terrorism moving in the United States. So the executive order, I assume, will clarify that as well and probably identify when they say religious minorities, that will most likely be Christians, Yazidis, Jews, Shia Muslims, because ISIS specifically targets Shia Muslims. So I would assume all of those would be included in their religious minorities list.
So you think that a more narrow executive order on immigration to come this week will actually pass muster in terms of the courts?
I do. There's no question the President of the United States has authority to be able to handle national security matters and be able to handle immigration, especially that coming from outside of the country in areas where we don't have active, good relationships with those other nations. So the President definitely has authority. It just needs to be clarified. Everyone knows in the rollout last time, the executive order came out, and then no one knew what to do with it. Literally, the ambassadors handled it one way, the consuls handled it another way, the airlines handled it another way, the border agents handled it another way. So there were lots of problems in the rollout. That just needs to be communication coming out.
Yeah, it's pretty extraordinary when you look at the number of people that have come into the country from predominantly those 7 countries just since that order, since the judge blocked it on February 3rd. Are you surprised to see the kinds of numbers we're talking about?
No, there was a lot of backlog in it, and some of those were individuals that had green cards and had some sort of legal permanent residency status. Those are individuals that were already in the pipeline, so that doesn't surprise me. We have individuals that are at different universities, different research facilities, that are family members that already have access coming in and out, that we know who they are. The challenge is coming in from Syria, we don't know who many of these people are.
Right. I guess what I'm referring to is 77% of the refugees that came in since February 3rd are from those 7 countries. I mean, obviously, when they heard that the judges were stopping the president's travel ban, we had an incredible surge just in a week and a half.
That's correct. We had an incredible surge. Obviously, those were individuals that were at the airports or were ready to go. They already had documents. You can't get documents that fast.
Sure.
To say, gosh, I want to go on and travel quickly. Most of those individuals, especially refugees, it's an 18-month process.
And were you comfortable with the extreme vetting that was supposed to take place?
I am comfortable with extreme vetting. That you should pay attention to areas, especially you're talking about coming in from Yemen, from Somalia, from Syria, from Iraq.
Yeah.
You've got places where it is there's very difficult situations. Often we don't know full details. We should do extreme vetting on those individuals.
Senator, let me ask you a similar question that I asked Congressman Peter King, and that is the break within the intelligence community. Who is undermining the president right now from the intelligence agencies?
We don't know yet whether it's intelligence agencies or whether it's a former White House. You realize that when the intelligence agencies, and most of these leaks came out of the time before President Trump took office, and those documents would have come out during that time period. So the intelligence agencies have a responsibility to be able to share things with the White House as they work through their investigation. So this could be old Obama White House officials. This could be someone with the intelligence agency. I would be very confident that this administration would pay attention to leaks, just like the Obama administration paid attention to leaks coming out of their White House as well.
And Senator, do you have any comment on these 3 IT staffers that were fired last Thursday because they accessed people's computers unauthorized?
No, I'll be in the same spot that Peter King was on that. I heard you ask him that question as well. We don't talk about ongoing investigations and the work that's happening there, but there will be a lot of attention paid to this.
But do you think? But I guess what people are trying to figure out is there a much bigger charge here, not necessarily just stealing information, but treason.
Right. Yeah, you have a lot of big issues flying around with this, and again, I'm not going to comment on ongoing investigations. We'll continue to work through the process.
Senator, thanks for joining us this morning.
No, glad to. Thank you.
We appreciate it. Senator Lankford there. President Trump is now working to fill the position of National Security Advisor, with key interviews lined up for today. This after the controversy over his former National Security Advisor highlighted the trouble with the intel community. How will this impact his presidency? We're looking ahead this morning ahead of those interviews right now on Sunday Morning Futures. We'll be right back.